Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at express.com and in stores.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? This is Young Lion King Carl Fredericks, and you're listening to Keepin' It Strong Style.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin' It Strong Style. Let's go. It's the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin' It Strong Style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Josh. Come and hit a job out and bury all the frauds. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan here with the young boy Josh Smith. On today's show, we'll be discussing the latest on Resurgence, Summer Struggle, answering your questions, and covering all latest news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can support our show by subscribing and following the Social Suplex Podcast Network or Keeping It Strong Style on the podcast app of your choice and leaving a rating and review. You can also get all the podcasts and columns over at socialsuplex.com. Check out our Pro Wrestling Tees store, ProWrestlingTees.com/socialsuplex. That's where you can get your official Keeping It Strong Style t-shirt. If you enjoy this podcast, please consider making a one-time or monthly donation by visiting socialsuplex.com/donate and click on the donate button under the Keeping It Strong Style logo. This week's episode is brought to you by the NJPW EXT, the only browser extension for NJPWWorld.com, with features like dark mode, improved translations and layouts, custom and shared playlists, synchronized viewing parties, and much, much more. It takes NJPW World to the next level. You can visit njpwext.us today for details. Young boy, how you doing, man?
How are you doing, man? That intro, a little lacking.
Lacking?
A little lacking. I mean, it still had, the silky voice. It still had the professional delivery, but the energy level, man, usually I'm used to Jeremy coming in. Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style.
Oh, man. Didn't realize I was giving subpar energy here.
Where's your energy, bro? You tired?
No, not really. Feeling good. Getting ready.
I see you got that Darby Allin coffin shirt on, and trying to take a coffin nap, sleep. Like, what's going on?
Taking a coffin drop, yeah. No, man, I'm good. Getting ready for Dynamite tomorrow night. Heading over to Daly's Place, checking that out. Gonna see the Juice in action.
Oh, that's right. You're going to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit! So you're gonna, dude. I've never seen Juventud Guerrera wrestle in my life. Like,
neither have I.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous right now.
Yeah, man.
Maybe what I interpreted as being tiredness was just a calm confidence, because this man's about to go see the Juice.
The Juice is going to be loose in Jacksonville, man.
I hope they give him the mic and he was like, finally, the Juice has come back to Miami.
All the people will be chanting the Juice's name. Juicy, Juicy, Juicy.
That's funny. How about this? How about didn't he win the IWGP Junior title and it's not recognized? Wasn't that a question a few weeks ago or something?
It was why wasn't he in wasn't it him in, or that was Mysterio, not in the Super Junior or something like that?
They weren't in the they wrestled on that second war in '95, the War J Cup, but they weren't officially in the tournament. And actually, no, I don't think it was Juventud. It was him and Psychosis, if I recall.
Right. I think the question you're thinking about is the one about Sabu. about not being recognized.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes, it is. But you know what? I think that there was a title change. I think Juventud Guerrera, when he was part of the Filthy Animals, right?
I believe he was, yeah.
I think he smashed a beer bottle over Liger's head and pinned him on an episode of Thunder for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, and then like lost it back to Liger a few days later on Nitro, like just before Liger went back, and like the real IWGP committee was pissed. Like that was one of the things where they're like, I don't know if we can still fuck with these WCW dudes. Like, I think that's how it went down. I could be misremembering something, but I know something like that definitely happened.
It wouldn't surprise me at that point in time if something like that happened. But, man, we got a lot of stuff to jump into here this week, and I guess we're going to have a little on-air meeting because we forgot to talk about this before we went on the air.
Oh, man. It's the first of the month. Yeah, so what's the deal?
So, yeah, it's first August, the first Keepin It Strong Style of August. We have Wrestler of the Month, Match of the Month for July. Wrestler of the Month, I mean, I threw out a couple of candidates here. A lot of people had a great July. I mean, I threw out Hiroshi Tanahashi, had the match of Kenta, and then, you know, pulling double duty the next night, going on and facing Shingo in the main event in a, you know, match of the year caliber matchup. Then we have individually, you can put Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. for their singles work, and then the tag feud. You can do Dangerous Tickers as a collective because of the tag feud, or you can go with Naito. I feel like Naito has really been shining in these matches.
Well, real quick before we do that, I went ahead and took the liberty to look this up because it was going to bother me. So yes, Jushin Liger wins the title in the Dome October 11th, 1999. On November 29th, on an episode of Nitro, he loses the title to Juventud Guerrera, and they cheated by like breaking like a whiskey or like some sort of alcoholic bottle. It might have been tequila, I don't remember. And then December 6th, he gets his rematch in Wisconsin, but Psychosis replaced Guerrera in the match due to Guerrera suffering a fractured right arm. So he didn't even beat the dude that beat him for the title to get the title back.
Wow.
And then went back to Japan. When he went back to Japan, they pulled one of those NWA WWF like mid 80s title changes where like they never talk about it. That shit never happened. Like
never mind.
Anyways,
that didn't happen.
So you got Tanahashi. He had two really, really great matches. You got you mentioned the Dangerous Techers collectively and as separate units. And then what was your argument for Naito?
I thought Naito looked really good in the tag matches and in the match with Sabre and Taichi.
I feel like if you made that argument, you could say the same thing about Sonata.
That's true, but I don't like Sonata.
Okay.
No, it's just played.
You know what the funny thing is? There was a point in the month where I was like, man, Ishii's on his way to like being Wrestler of the Month. And then that Evil match happened. I was like,
yeah,
never mind.
Yeah, Ishii started the month off strong, hit that banger with Nagata. Yeah, he was having a good month, and then he faced Evil and things went south for him.
I even felt like the Chaos Trio collectively had potential to win this. For me, I mean, I think you're probably going to say the same thing. I think the winner here has got to be Hiroshi Tanahashi, turning back the clock, headlining back-to-back days, putting on classics, and showing the world that like even at this stage, like you could belt that man up and he could believably be the IWGP World Champion like tomorrow if he wanted to be.
Right, yeah. Go Ace. So yeah, I'm down with that. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the July Wrestler of the Month. Then for the match of the month, I think we might be in agreement here. Tanahashi versus Shingo for the main event of Wrestle Grand Slam.
Dang, I thought you were going Rambo, bro. I was listening to Observer, and Brian Alvarez for like 3 days was like, and this scoundrel, Chase Owens, got handcuffed and then unhandcuffed himself. And I'm like, what? Did I miss that? And then like finally he came on like the next day. He's like, guys, how could you let me for several days give misinformation about this man, Chase Owens? He was never handcuffed. And I was like, I knew I didn't miss that.
Yeah. I don't know what Alvarez was watching.
Alvarez telling on himself, bro. But yeah, obviously the match of the month, Shingo Takagi and Hiroshi Tanahashi in the Tokyo Dome, 5,000 strong. Still a low end match of the year contender. I'm sure it's going to be on the list. One thing I didn't get to say last week that I wanted to say, I think for me, I like this match better than their New Beginning match.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But, well, I mean, not surprising at all. Like, you're on that high end. You're on that 5 stars for that shit.
Dude,
I never thought that.
I've seen a lot. I'm not the only one, man. There's a ton of people that threw 5 at that match. A lot of respectable, media people have thrown 5 at it. I'm not the only one.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for Wrestler of the Month and Match of the Month.
Nice. Well, let's talk about New Japan of America, because there's a lot of hot stuff happening here in the West. A lot of exciting news. So let's start with Dynamite. So
one thing too, I want to say before we start, last week we missed a lot of stuff. Like post show, I was like, yo, we forgot to say this. We forgot to say this. And we don't usually do that, but guys, have some patience with us. It's not our first rodeo, but damn, there's a lot of shows and a lot of things going on.
Yeah, there's so much going on. And you're going to see that right here as we're talking about Dynamite and Impact right now. Yeah, there's so much to watch, so much to keep up with. I feel like we hit all the important stuff last week. There's a couple of things that we have to mention this week, and we'll get to them in a second. But we'll start with Dynamite here. So last week's Dynamite, we had a video from our Wrestler of the Month, Hiroshi Tanahashi, challenging the winner of the Archer Hikuleo U.S. title match. We then had the U.S. title match with Lance Archer defeating Hikuleo with King Haku 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Question from Dom Homie 101. Thoughts on the recent IWGP U.S. Heavyweight title match that took place on last week's episode of AEW Dynamite?
I don't really have anything negative to say, but I'm not going to throw flowers at it either. I thought it was good. At 7 minutes, it was exactly what it needed to be. It was 2 very big, very athletic guys going out there and kind of delivering. Like we've been saying for years, very impressed with Hikuleo, just as he's continuing to progress, and they're starting to give him some more opportunities here. And I didn't think he looked out of place, and I didn't think he looked – I mean, he obviously looked green in comparison to the well-seasoned, Lance Archer, but he didn't look, outclassed or anything like that. He looked fine. Lance Archer was great. The match was solid. And then, the stuff with Tanahashi was the icing on the cake,
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I thought the match was fine. I don't really think this match was designed to get Hikuleo over. I think obviously the shine was on Archer. I mean, Hikuleo got some offense, and it wasn't a total squash match, but it was definitely the focus was on Archer. And the fan base is not really familiar with Hikuleo, so it didn't really make a ton of sense for them to go 50-50. But yeah, good experience for him there. And always good seeing King Haku out there as well. But yeah, but like,
what needs to happen? If they really want to consolidate this partnership, New Japan leaves the red strap in America to periodically bounce between Strong and Dynamite or Rampage or whatever, and then AEW creates a new belt that they can send over to Japan, and Jon Moxley and other people can defend. We can have an AEW branded title in New Japan.
The AEW Japanese Heavyweight Championship?
I don't know what they would call it, but, how about that? For the Pro Elitists, an AEW belt.
The Forbidden Door Championship?
The Forbidden Door title.
Oh, man.
If it went to Dragon Gate, it could be like,
Open the Forbidden Door.
Open the Forbidden Door title.
Well, speaking of the Forbidden Door, Moxley also cut a promo on Dynamite calling himself the Forbidden Door, saying that Tanahashi has been ducking him now that he lost the belt. Of course, Tanahashi would show up and wants a challenge, and he's been signing contracts in New Japan, and he wants to get back to Japan. Yeah,
so it's very clear they're building to a potential down the road match between Moxley and Tanahashi. That's a match we've never gotten in New Japan or elsewhere, so it's kind of been protected. Didn't happen in the G1. To me, that says Dome, all over it. But there's some people speculating with Tanahashi traveling and being here locally, maybe they could do it on an Arthur Ashe Stadium show or, All Out, something of that nature. But for me, I think it makes more sense to do it, to tease it now and then do it, come January 4th or 5th.
Yeah, the rumors I'm hearing is that the Moxley-Tanahashi match could happen at All Out, that Moxley has proposed to Tony Khan to wrestle somebody from New Japan. And, Moxley's not really been in any hot views right now on TV. He had the Archer match, and that's been pretty much it. He's not really involved in anything right now. So, it could, Tanahashi's here. He's wrestling Resurgence. I'm sure he might show up on the Strong tapings, but if he's going to be here, it might make sense to do that match at All Out.
Yeah, and, I don't want to get too crazy down the rabbit hole speculating on booking scenarios, but, there's a lot of things that could happen at that point, just booking-wise. But I'm not opposed to that. I think that could be good for the partnership and for, getting more eyes on the New Japan product long-term. And it, with me kind of alluding to those different booking possibilities, that anytime that you have matches where you're not totally sure the outcome and it's a big profile, that's a good thing. It adds excitement to the product. So we'll wait to see what's going on there. Now, here's the thing. What I didn't like, Moxley walking down the ramp, acting like Tanahashi's been ducking him, right? Whilst all four of these dudes, him, Archer, Tanahashi, Hikuleo, none of them had the gall to do shit about King Haku being ringside, okay? You wanna pick a fight with somebody, that's the dude you try to prove yourself against, Like, Haku is older than Tanahashi, but Tanahashi is actually older than Haku. Haku will whoop his ass right now.
Yes, dude. Haku was ready to run it. He did the Tongan death grip out there. That man was out there in his Bullet Club shirt. He ready to run it with anybody.
He's wearing a New Japan breaker too.
Yeah,
the tracksuit. That was dope. You gotta let them know, Yeah. Like when I go to the gym, sometimes I wear like my Suzuki shirt because I gotta let them know,
They don't want to smoke. We had a question from Dom Homie 101 with John Moxley recently cutting a promo about wanting some NJPW home cooking. Is it possible that we may see some NJPW talent coming to Conland, or we see Moxley pull up in Japan to get some NJPW G1 home cooking?
I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it's clear now that we are going to be seeing more New Japan talent coming to AEW. But I think Moxley's promo is also about him wanting to go to Japan. I think that's going to open the door for him whenever he can travel to go to Japan, then also open the door for more people to come and face him on Dynamite.
Well, right now, and we alluded to this last week, we don't know what the visa situation is. In the past and leading up to the current day present time, they've been struggling to procure foreign travel visas for the Gaijin talent that weren't already kind of grandfathered in, to allow them to kind of make the trek to Japan and do the quarantine and all that. Recently, I think there might have been some positive signs as far as like allowing travel for those who are vaccinated and not requiring them to quarantine. So that's good news. If I'm New Japan, and I'm kind of like staring at the horizon, I'm actively working on this situation, and I believe that is the case just based on some of the promos we've seen recently with like the Good Brothers and John Moxley, where they're talking, ad nauseum about how soon and very soon they're going to be in Japan. So I'm assuming that they're actively pursuing this, or they've got, an inroad, a way to maybe obtain visas. But until we see that on paper, I'm going to still assume that it's something that's not available until they like make it public,
Right. So next up, we got to move on.
But Vice, on the other side, we've seen plenty of Japanese talent come to America.
Right. Yeah.
But who knows? Things are changing here too.
Yeah. Things are getting pretty crazy with the Delta variant, and so that's probably going to have an impact on how some of these shows are going to play out. But speaking of impact, that is what we got to talk about next real quick. So man. What a transition. So we have
You're a gift.
had some interesting stuff happening on Impact. We have the team of Beyblade. That's a team of Switchblade, Jay White, and Chris Bay. They had a tag match against the Good Brothers. They lost to the Good Brothers, Chris Bay eating a magic killer, but the night would not be done for Beyblade. They attacked Finn Juice backstage. Obviously, Jay White has that match coming up with David Finlay. So they lay out Finn Juice. And this coming up a week on Impact, Chris Bay will be taking on Juice Robinson.
Are you watching any of this?
Yeah, so I watched the tag match. I've been watching because they've been putting all that stuff up on New Japan World. So as it comes up, I've been watching and keeping up what's going on in Impact. Thought it was kind of weird to have Beyblade lose to the Good Brothers so soon. But it's whatever. They pinned Chris Bay. They didn't pin Jay White. But also they're pivoting now to focus on the Jay and Finlay rivalry. I find it very interesting. You know, New Japan, they're using Impact TV and AEW TV to build to Resurgence.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I like it. I don't know if it's ultimately like, you know, going to be like something that really has a huge influence on tickets or anything like that.
Right.
But you know, I think the effort and, you know, kind of the combining of the two storylines is pretty cool. Well, one question I had for you, in New Japan, they obviously, we're going to talk about the Good Brothers here. They're in the finals of, you know, the tag team turmoil. They're referring to them on Strong as Bullet Club members, Bullet Club OGs. And obviously there hasn't been, you know, a reference to that being 100% the case by any current Bullet Club member. But then on Impact with, you know, Jay White being there, there's clearly a disconnect. They went, you know, they traded, you know, jabs and verbal spars and things like that. So it's like, are they going to try and do this thing in New Japan where they portray them as still, you know, Bullet Club members by proxy, and then, you know, on Impact and AEW, they're kind of separated. Like, you remember when ROH used to run into these issues?
Yeah.
With New Japan, where they had like separate kind of storylines that they were trying to align.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I saw on Strong, they did like refer to their history of being part of the Bullet Club, but never said that they were actually members of the Bullet Club.
Kevin Kelly did.
Oh, he did?
He was saying that, you know, for the longest time, you know, GOD were the dominant Bullet Club tag team, but prior to that it was these guys, and now it's them again coming back for the crown, you know. And he kept alluding to them being Bullet Club. You know, he didn't come out and say they are in fact still Bullet Club. He didn't say those words, but like all the allusions and how he spoke about it implied that they're Bullet Club, you know?
Yeah. And maybe that's playing up to a match with them and GOD. They have been throwing up the Too Sweet. They have been getting into, you know, Twitter arguments with Tama Tonga. So maybe it's one of those things where that'll play into the storyline too. I mean, Jay White was pretty clear on Impact. Like, you guys are not in the Bullet Club and not welcome back in. So.
Right. And I think that we have a pretty good feel as to what the talent, what their opinions are as far as like the creative go. But I don't know if, like, for instance, New Japan brings them in, they're going to try to sell T-shirts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they have different intentions in mind. And we've seen that, like I mentioned, when Bullet Club was spread across ROH and New Japan, there was all sorts of, you know, weird differences between the different TVs and the different characters and everything.
Right, and like ROH was doing that whole like Cody versus Kenny thing. I'm not even sure how much like New Japan like had to do with that. I think they just kind of had to roll with it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, like I mentioned, Impact Dynamite, they're building up to Resurgence, which will be at next week, next Saturday, August 14th, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on New Japan World and Fight TV.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, if you want to watch this in English, you have to order it on Fight TV. They have the exclusive English language rights, whereas if you're okay watching it with the Japanese commentary, that's available to you on New Japan World.
Yeah, and so we have some more of the card here. So like we talked about, Tana Hoshi challenged the winner of Archer and Hikuleo. So it will be for the IWGP US title, Lance Archer defending against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Then we're going to have Jon Moxley in a mystery partner versus the Good Brothers. Moxley cut a promo saying he's going to meet a friend in LA and challenge the Good Brothers to a matchup. And we know that Shooter Umino was supposed to be on the show, but due to travel restrictions from the UK, he's not going to be able to make it. So that leaves some question marks on who the partner is. And we had a question from Viking Pain. Says, now that Shooter is stuck in the UK due to traveling issues, who do you think Moxley's new mystery partner is? Gut tells me it's Juice, but an out-of-left field pick would be Nick Gage. I think Moxley had teased working with him, and GW's next show is on August 20th in Vegas. Also, what do you guys think of death matches in general? Me, personally, not a fan of it.
Man, a lot to cover there. Before we move on, I just want to say Tanahashi versus Archer. Cannot wait. Super stoked. That's an incredible, addition to the lineup. And if you guys haven't seen their match from G1, was it 2019?
Yeah, 2019, yep.
Yeah, well worth checking out. But to answer this, well, first I'd like to say I think I was pretty well on the money when I said that we might be getting Moxley and Shooter against the Good Brothers, and it appears that I was right.
Yeah, I think we had talked about that. Like, as soon as we saw, like, both those guys on the card, like, announced, like, that's a potential match they could do.
As soon as, however many weeks back it was that he wrestled Carl Anderson on Dynamite, or as far back as that was announced, that's when I was speculating on that. So that's pretty cool. I'll tell you this. Some of the choices you kind of provided, they make some sense, but I'll tell you who I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's Sami Callihan. Him and Jon Moxley and Sami Callihan had a very long-standing, successful independent tag team. What were they called?
Switchblades.
Yeah, the Switchblades or something like. No, Society Blades. I don't know, something weird.
It was something with blades in it. But I think it was close to Switchblades too.
Social Switchblades. I don't know, something weird. But they're actually teaming up again for the first time in years on the upcoming Wrestling Revolver show. Wrestling Revolver, as you guys might know, is an independent promotion that's promoted by Sami Callihan. So I think there's a good chance, especially with Jeremy, you mentioned that there was some issues between Sami Callihan and the Good Brothers on Impact Television already as well, right?
Right. So they are the Switchblades is what they were called.
Okay, they're just the Switchblades.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Sami Callihan also with the feud with Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers were involved with that as well. So yeah, he's had heat with those guys.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just my pick. I mean, I'm thinking, an Impact guy who has, close ties to him, someone that you could throw in a pinch, and they're all kind of like closely aligned storyline wise. That just makes the most sense to me. I could be wrong, but that's my best bet.
Right, it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen Callihan in New Japan. Obviously, he worked the World Tag League a few years ago with Juice Robinson. I believe they were Death Juice.
That was like 2017, 2018 World Tag League. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was 2017. Remember, he was kissing everybody, and he
Death Juice. Oh my god!
And he kissed Kojima, and Tenzon's like, "Why did he kiss Kojima? I want to kiss Kojima."
No, yeah. Remember, Tenzon was like, "My wife never kisses me." I'm not gonna lie, I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So
also, that's where we got Yuji Nagata
from WCW.
I used to play with him on World Tour.
Yeah.
On the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, Callihan had some funny lines during that tour. But yeah, that was World Tag League 2017 when we started this podcast. And so yeah, Callihan has history in New Japan. Like you mentioned, it makes sense storyline-wise. Impact's from playing nice with New Japan. This could be the favor here. Umino can't make it. Let us use Callihan. I
mean, Shota Umino is the only other guy that has, kayfabe New Japan ties to Jon Moxley. I mean, your other choice, Juice, isn't a bad choice, but I mean, I'd much rather see Juice and Moxley continue to, be enemies.
Right. The only thing that I can see maybe Juice is because Juice is advertised for the show and he's not in a match, and Finley is facing Jay White, so you could do something there, and you maybe have the quote unquote rivals can they coexist to face the Good Brothers. and that could open the door to another Juice Mox match.
Yes. Now, to address the last part of your question, death matches. You know, I wouldn't tell you I'm a Ghoul wrestling fan. You know, I'm not the death match guy.
You're not Dan Coffin.
Yeah, I'm not Dan Coffin, Ghoul match, you know, fan. But I will say this: I'm down for a good death match every now and again. Like, I don't care. You know, I've got different tastes when it comes to hardcore and deathmatch wrestling than, you know, others do. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I've never watched a barbed wire, you know, spider net death match with cactuses and like piranhas and shit. Like, right. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I'm gonna watch every day or kind of seek out. But yeah, if it's done well, you got the right guys, the right build, I think they could be awesome. So also on this Resurgent card, as we already knew, we have the Never Openweight title, Jay White defending against David Finlay. We have a 6-man tag with Fred Rosser, Rocky Romero in Wheeler, Utah against Clark Connors, Fenderita, and TJP. And then the next match in the Alex Coughlin Challenge Series will be Alex Coughlin versus the Alpha Wolf, Carl Fredericks.
Oh, man. This is like his labors.
Yes, the labors of Coughlin.
The labors of Coughlin. New Japan has also announced that Shota Umino will no longer be part of Resurgence event. We kind of covered that. We had some questions here regarding this event, so it seems like people are kind of getting excited as the date's approaching.
Yeah, they are.
Dom Homie 101 asked, with the lineup of New Japan Resurgence, what are your thoughts on the card? Who will be Jon Moxley's mystery partner? Any thoughts on Archer and Tanahashi? And who will walk out with the IWGP US Championship? So, Jeremy, next week is our preview of that show, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we may or may not have a special guest. You know, time will tell.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know. But either way, there might be somebody joining us next week to preview that show. But, yeah, I'm very excited for this card. I think the card kind of turned out better than I thought it was. You know, when this was announced, there's no way I could predict that we were going to see Archer versus Tanahashi on the card. So overall, I think it's a very good card for like New Japan's, you know, come back to the States. You're getting a U.S. title match. You're getting Tanahashi, Archer, who's not even signed with the company. You're getting Moxley. You're getting a never title match of a history rivalry of Jay White and Finlay. The LA Dojo guys, Fredericks and Coughlin, the fun 6-man tag. We still have a strong title match to be announced and some more matches to be announced. So overall, very solid card. Very excited for it. As far as who's going to walk out with the U.S. title,
let's say that till next week's preview.
Yeah. Good call there.
Yep, and I concur, Jeremy. I don't have anything to add there. Kyle Martin asked, like I said last week, Jeremy, I've fallen off the New Japan bandwagon since January 5th, but my markish outlook for AEW and my love for the ace who runs the place has got me wanting to watch Resurgence. With all that being said, can you guys recommend me some matches from this year as a primer for the show, please? Your podcast is the essential way to keep up with and understand the stories, but for me, that's completely overshadowed both of your actual match reviews and star ratings.
Well, I could, I mean, there's not really matches that are really built to this, but I can give you my...
Hold on. Did he literally just write a question that was addressed strictly to you and then said that he respects your match ratings and star reviews and opinions and then not address me in any way, shape, or form?
I think he meant both of us. I think he just responded to me.
He said Jeremy.
Well, because I posted the question thing in the Wrestling Square Circle.
Bro, young boy disrespect will not be tolerated, okay? No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you know, I can give him some recommended matches from New Japan. They don't really build to Resurgence, but they can get you hyped up for New Japan. Obviously, there's...
But I think that's what he's wanting. I think he's wanting, like, hey, in a nutshell, what would you say I need to catch up on to be ready for this show when it comes to the Resurgence show? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like you probably want to catch the last strong openweight title defense, the last couple probably title defenses.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch the Lawler and Dickinson title defense.
Yeah. I mean, you could watch the Fredericks one's not bad. Probably the Kojima one. I think that, kind of having a good understanding of the history of that title that's short, but, good history is probably key. I would also probably recommend watching Mox's U.S. title defense against Kenta. That was a really big one. If you didn't catch it, that's probably highly recommended. Obviously, it sounds like you're watching AEW, so you probably want to catch some of those AEW title defenses, especially the Texas Death Match.
Yeah, I would say also watch both Tanahashi matches from last week, the Kenta match and the Shingo match. You see how the Ace can still run it.
Yeah, and then, the tag team Turbulence, there really isn't a match that I'd recommend from that, but, just kind of being aware of the tournament, what happened and everything of that nature is probably key.
Then also the Alex Coughlin series, you can watch the Josh Alexander match that Alex Coughlin
really
had.
good.
That was really good from Strong.
Yeah. I think that'd be the main stuff, honestly.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of this stuff, I mean, they really didn't use Strong that much to build up this show. A lot of this show has been built up through Dynamite and Impact.
The New Japan Cup match between Jay White and David Finlay is a must-see.
Right, that's the whole reason why this match is happening, because Finlay got the upset win there in the New Japan Cup to get this title match against Jay White.
Yeah, so we've given you a good list. Check out, go to your cage match, take a look at the ratings. They'll kind of give you an idea. You can read a review here or there, but, you probably want to watch a match or two from some of these bigger feuds and storylines to kind of prep yourself if that's where you're, if that's what your game plan is.
Yeah. So the next question comes from either Mitch MM22. Has there been an act in wrestling quite like the Good Brothers? These boys on bang average matches and by all counts are really cool guys to hang out with. Somehow they've turned into being a top tag team in every major promotion they go to. Personally, their matches do nothing for me, but I'm still a fan because I respect the hustle. Where do they rank all time as a tag team, and where do they rank all time for finessing the business with minimal effort? If there's a former Bullet Club leader making money that Anderson and Gals are making money, you gotta respect it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I didn't know what he meant when he said bang average matches. I thought he might have meant below. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really enjoy the Good Brothers as an act or a tag team, but I do listen. I mean, not recently, but in the past, I've listened to their podcasts and I've seen their shtick online. They're funny, entertaining, creative guys. And yeah, in terms of like, where do they rank for all-time teams? I don't know. I probably wouldn't even put them in a top 100, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even consider them there. But in terms of like finessers, they gotta be in a top like 25, top 50 list. Like these guys are fucking incredible when it comes to getting paid and, making, wise career moves.
Yeah, dude.
Especially Gallows.
Oh yeah. Dude, that man went from being Festus, being fake Kane, to where he's at right now.
But think of how many times he got rehired by WWE.
Yeah.
This man just stays getting the bag. Like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, they've both gotten mad money from WWE. They're now on 3 television shows every week. They're on Dynamite, Impact, and Strong every week now.
Yeah. Get ready. They're going to, invade MLW.
You never know with all these companies working together. That could be the next stop.
Viking Pain asked, if Tanahashi wins the U.S. title, is that a sign that he'll be spending a good amount of time in America for the foreseeable future? Tana touring the States, having matches in Impact, ROH, AEW, and Strong would be a sight to behold.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if he wins the belt, that's going to be a sign that he's sticking around. We've been talking for months now that eventually New Japan is going to get back the U.S. title and use it for tours in the U.S. So if Tanahashi wins and can get back to Japan with a title, they could use the U.S. title to help main event shows and draw houses in Japan. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be in the U.S. touring with it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The same thing. Like, I think it would be great to see Tanahashi do a Liger-esque run, throughout the United States and everything like that. I think with the rise of the Delta variant, and we're already like you're starting to see some lockdowns and shows get shut down, and states and stuff like that. I don't know how viable it'll be long term for Tanahashi to stay here and keep working, but
right.
Business has been down in Japan. They need attractions, and Tanahashi with gold around his waist always, equals drawing. So my bet is he goes back to Japan and, draws some Big Cork and House Hall or some Big Cork and Hall house shows.
Right, especially if
I don't know what I was trying to say there.
Especially if Jay White's going to be stateside for most of the year. They might turn that Never title into a title you see on Strong a lot, or maybe Jay's going to wrestle more Impact, so maybe the Never title kind of sticks around in the U.S. while you bring the U.S. title back as the number 2 title.
Next question he had, and this is going to kind of lean into our last bit of discussion when it comes to this show. He asked, now that Lio Rush has been cleared, how long do you think it's going to be until he decides to unretire? And that was something we forgot to touch upon last week when we were talking about Filthy Tom Lawler retaining the strong openweight title. We forgot to mention that post-show, his most recent title challenger, Lio Rush, approached him in the post-match comments and laid out the challenge. Now, I don't think it was expressly made known that it would be at Resurgence. I'm assuming it's going to be for Resurgence.
I would assume so, because both of them are advertised and neither of them have been announced for a match yet. So they were probably waiting on Leo to get cleared so they could make that match official.
Yeah, and as of the time of this recording, it's still not technically official. But, like Viking Pain mentioned here, he did recently put out a tweet stating that he is cleared for, to kind of compete. Obviously, he's been competing on New Japan Strong, but those shows are in a can and were taped, a while back. So, but at this current time, he's able to wrestle again. So that means that he probably has the clearance for the Resurgence show. And I'm guessing maybe after this next week's New Japan Strong, something will be made official.
Yeah, I would think so, because, we're right around the corner now, so I would think they would officially announce that strong openweight title match. Well, that's going to lead us to talk about this past week's Strong. We had the finals.
Wait, I wanted to talk about my Lio Rush conspiracy theories.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so here's the deal, guys, and I just want to say, I want to preface this by saying, I do not expect Lio Rush to be the next openweight strong champion, but I could see it happening. and here's a few reasons why. I think there is a possibility. I know that this is going to sound kind of conspiracy theorish of me, but I don't know if this man ever actually planned to retire. I think there's a few things that could have been possibly happening. Maybe it was completely sincere and heartfelt, and he really did intend to retire when he made that remark. It wouldn't be the first time that Lio Rush has ever, addressed retirement before. So that's kind of on the record. At the same time, there's a couple key indicators to me that are suspicious about the whole thing. First off, making an announcement that you're retiring from the sport way before you actually stop competing, Yeah. It's never usually a strong sign that someone is actually retiring. I'm retiring, but I'm gonna get these dates in,
Yeah.
So that part is kind of suspect. Number 2, why hasn't he done any jobs on the way out, Now, I think I could play devil's advocate and say I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck out of him by maybe building him up as a challenger to, say, Tom Lawler, and then having Lawler beat him. I guess that makes some sense to me, At the same time, maybe I'm not having him job out to anybody on the way out because he's not actually leaving. And there's no reason to job him out, because that's the typical traditional treatment, someone who is made very public knowledge that they're leaving the company.
Well, another point you have to think about, I think a lot of his stuff has already been in the can, because, that when he faced off against Lawler, That was like when Nagata was still in the States, and that was like months ago.
Right, but like I know it was in the can, but like how long ago was this all in the can in comparison to when he made the announcement, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing too is he said, I'm gonna keep wrestling for New Japan because I have to quote unquote fulfill my dates. Okay. That is super suspicious to me because what kind of fucking contract does he have with New Japan of America? Like any contract they might have, I know that they did announce that they signed him to a deal, but like those almost feel like they're like short-term deals that could possibly even be like per date or per like taping, you know? Mm-hmm. What kind of contractual obligation does the guy have to the company? You know what I mean? Like, you know, could he hypothetically, if he wanted to, say, you know what, my family, my health, my shoulder, everything like that, it's my mental health, it's not worth it, and just stop working? I think he could. What kind of legal repercussions does New Japan have to go against him? What recourse would there be, you know?
Right.
None. There literally be none. It's not like, you know, he's signed to like a WWE deal where they're going to ice him out and all this like sort of stuff and non-competes and all that. Like, it's not that serious. So I feel like the idea that, oh, like, just hear me out. I think they might be planning to possibly put the title on him and have the story be that he was leaving the sport, he's the underdog, he's done, and he's going away, and everybody knows it. You know, it wouldn't be the first time we've ever seen a company do a storyline like this, looking at you, CM Punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, and I feel like now it doesn't mean for sure he's going to win. I'm about 15% thinking he's going to win. I'm about 85% sure he's probably losing. But, I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. He's by far the biggest profiled New Japan of USA guy that they have. And I'm not counting, obviously, like your Jon Moxleys or guys that are actively working for New Japan in Japan or for AEW. I'm talking about those dudes who are on the indies who got brought in and they're considered strong talent. He has the most social engagement, the most Google searches, the most, you know, he's the most well-known name. Like, he's by far the biggest star that they have. It wouldn't be that crazy to put the title on him if, in fact, he decided he was going to keep working.
Right. I don't know. For me, it just seems like, I don't know. I just feel like that's so much. I feel like I would have bought a little bit more into it if, like, they were building it up on strong. Like, yeah, he's retiring. You know, his time was coming up, and he's going to get this one big last title match. But like, I just don't see, like, what's the whole point of, like, going through all this if they're not going to really capitalize on it.
I agree with you, but at the same time, this is the same company that doesn't always hit the mark when it comes to their branding and stories in the U.S.
That's true.
So that's the other caveat. I've considered the same thing as you. So I just want to be the guy that's saying maybe we should be reconsidering this thing because I think there's some suspect stuff going on there. But if this is in fact his last match, that's a pretty great way to go out.
Yeah. Well, he's also advertised for the strong tapings on Monday, so you could have a situation where
suspect
he wins the belt and drops it back at the strong tapings, and then he's done.
You could also have a similar situation to like AJ Styles, Wrestle Kingdom. You know, he works the big match, and then they do an angle to write him off the next night.
Right.
So he loses twice on the way out. You know, but let's like you said, let's talk about Tag Team Turbulence Night 3.
Yeah, so the show opened up. We had your boy Bateman defeating Kevin Knight, 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Second match of the evening, we had Adrian Quest, Fred Rosser, and Carl Fredericks defeating Mysterioso and the West Coast Wrecking Crew, Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs at 9 minutes and 20 seconds. And then the main event was the finals in the Tag Team Turbulence Tournament, and it was the Good Brothers, Doc Alves and Carl Anderson defeating the Violence Unlimited team of Brody King and Chris Dickinson, 10 minutes and 59 seconds.
One thing, at the end of this match, they presented them with the Tag Team Turbulence trophies. I got to tell you, Jeremy, when did you ever watch Guts?
Yes, yeah. You have it, Guts, yeah.
Yeah. So you remember like when they, like at the end of the show, you'd win and you'd get a piece of that aggro crag.
Yeah, the aggro crag, yeah.
Yeah, and it was this giant fucking like sculpture trophy, and the kids would like hold it over their head, and it was huge, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, the way that I've seen them show the pictures of the tag team Turbulence trophies, they like shot it from like underneath, and they just looked fucking massive. I was assuming that there were these huge golden fucking fists that the guys were gonna like basically like a New Japan Cup level like trophy, or like the old like World Tag League trophies, just like huge. And then when they handed them these like coffee cup sized like little fists, I'm like, what the fuck are they?
Yeah. Bro, those are, I guess, some like default trophies. Somebody online found like the website that they ordered them from. Like they're like amateur wrestling trophies that you can order from like for any like wrestling tournament, amateur wrestling tournament. And they ordered those and slapped the New Japan logo on it.
Oh yeah, I for some reason like the red like wristbands on them remind me of like Naito. When he throws like the fist in the air, like I don't know. But anyways, yeah, Good Brothers beat Violence Unlimited. Is a fine show. I don't really have a lot to add to the discourse here. The one thing I will say is during the show they didn't showcase the storyline with Jon Moxley calling out the Good Brothers. That was something that I saw on what's the show Chris Charlton does, the recap show.
It's like After Strong or something like that, or like Post Strong or whatever.
Yeah, Post Strong. I know that's not what it's called, but like the show Keeping It, I don't know, maybe it's called Keeping It Strong Style. I don't know. But like that's where I saw the promo, and it was funny because it was very clear that he cut that promo on the Good Brothers the same time that he cut the promo on Tanahashi, because he was still walking like through the background wearing the same shit.
Yeah.
But like, why wasn't that on New Japan Strong?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that popped up on social media afterwards and on that show of Chris Charlton. And yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have put that on Strong. Again, they really haven't been using Strong to build up Resurgence, which is kind of weird. And again, maybe it's because of the taping schedule.
I think it always has a lot to do with the taping schedule. Like, there's some positives to doing mass TV tapings, continuity and things like that. But then with the kind of environment we're in right now, where there's so much happening in short order and all these other different companies, they're all kind of tied together. It kind of exposes the tape nature of Strong,
right.
Which maybe detracts or doesn't detract for you. Depends, I guess.
Right. And I think that might be changing now with, fans being welcome to tapings. And I think they might end up doing maybe shorter tapings compared to what they were doing. It might be a little bit more relevant. But the Good Brothers did cut a promo here post-match after winning the tournament, saying that they are they want a
Ichiban.
Yeah, so they're Ichiban. They want a future IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team title match.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened here on Strong. Kevin Knight can't get a fucking win. And then we move on. Next week, we got Jarrell Nelson and Hoist. I always say Hoist. Royce Isaacs, the West Coast Wrecking Crew, taking on Jared Kratos and Danny Limelight of Team Filthy. Second match of the night, Rocky Romero will team up with Fred Rosser to take on Ren Narita and Alex Coughlin. Wonder who's going to win there. And then the main event, did I go backwards?
Yeah, it's in reverse order. So I copied this from an Observer site, and they always put the main event up first.
This is not the first time I've done this on the show either. But here's the problem, that like main event sounds like an opener to me.
Yeah, this week not a really strong show. This is I call it the Summer Struggle in USA tour.
Oh, that it is indeed. Kevin Knight and Alexander James will be starting the show off for another one of for Kevin Knight. Who's Alexander James? We've seen him before, right?
I don't think so. I think it's the first time he's going to be on Strong. He's a former CCW and WXW guy, I think.
I've seen him in Bloodsport. That's where I know him from. He's good.
That's
like
why
him.
his name's familiar. Okay, yeah.
I like Alexander James. That should actually be good. So I think that's his debut. So that's one to look out for. Yeah. One question here. Viking Payne asked, after watching the Kojima Lawler match, my friends and I thought it would be cool if the Strong title wasn't just a championship, but also a ticket to Japan. Like, if you're a heavyweight, well, it's an open weight title, bud, but if you're a heavyweight and you're the Strong champion, you automatically get a spot in the G1. Oh, I see what he's saying. Or if they're a junior champion, you automatically get a spot into the best of Super Juniors. We just thought that would add more prestige and weight to the title. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think that would be cool. You know, it adds more value to also being a champion is great and being the top guy of that show, but definitely adds more value. Like, all right, you're the strong champion. You got your way to a G1 or best of Super Juniors. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Here's my only problem with that. I have no problem in theory with the strong champion being involved in either of the junior or heavyweight round robin tournaments. I don't like it though when a title becomes a consolation to some other bigger prize. Okay. So what I mean by that is this. I'm totally fine with any singles champion being involved in those tournaments. They should be, as they already are in Japan. Like, when was the last time that the IC or the US or the Never champion wasn't in the G1 or the New Japan Cup? Like, very rarely.
Right.
But it's not ever stated, if you hold this title, then you get a chance to go to, be in the G1. It's not like a Money in the Bank. I think it should just automatically be a given that the strong champion is one of the 4 or 5 major title holders in the company, and they get to be in the tournament, but it's not like an overstated, like, he just punched his ticket to the G1.
Yeah, I wouldn't do like that. I wouldn't build it up like that. I wouldn't build it as a cash in. It would just be like a normal thing. Like, you're a champion, you're going to be in the G1, or you're a junior, you're going to be in Best Super Juniors because you're a strong champion and you're a top guy, so you should be in those tournaments.
Right, and I have no problem with the guy cutting a promo like, calling out the top talent, I'll see you in the G1. That would be dope. But I don't like it being something where, like, it's a, I don't know, like a rule. Like, I don't know. Do you get – I feel like it devalues the title if the title is just, something to get to something else.
Right. It's like it's not like you don't really care about being champion. You just care about getting to the tournament.
Right.
Kind of devalues the title.
Right. Yeah.
So, in other news, we had 2 matches announced last week for Night 1 of Wrestle Grand Slam in MetLife Dome. Night 1 on September 4th. So, we're going to have Kazuchika Okada versus Jeff Cobb, the rematch from Wrestle Grand Slam in Tokyo Dome. And then we're also going to have a KOPW 2021 matchup as Chase Owens will defend against Toru Yano.
Yeah, and we don't know what that KOPW constellation. What's wrong with me? I'm mispronouncing. Is constellation the word?
You mean KOPW like what type of match is going to be?
Yeah.
The stipulation?
Yeah. Why do I keep saying constellation? That is so fucking weird. I'm having a weird day. Yeah, we don't know what the stipulation is going to be. But recently, I mean, there's a few things. Remember, Chase Owens threw powder in the eyes of Yano to blind him and allow him to win the KOPW title. That's something we've seen him do now on these Road to shows multiple times. So I've got a feeling that there may be some sort of, salt to the eyes sort of rule or aspect to the match.
I think they're building to an I Quit match. So a lot on the shows that they did.
That was the other thing I was going to mention as well.
Yeah, they've been doing it every day. They've been beating down Yano, sticking the mic in his face, asking him to say that he quit. So,
but he's also thrown powder in his eyes almost every day as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. You remember, and they don't always follow this rule, but sometimes they let the people vote.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that they're going to let them vote between some, aspect of the match between these two types. I don't know.
Yeah, either could happen. So we're going to run through the results of July 30th and July 31st Summer Struggle. Not too much going on there. And then we'll focus some time on the August 1st show where we had the Young Lion farewell matches and the big never openweight 6-man title match between Chaos and Suzuki Gun. So on the 30th, we had Kojima, Tiger Mask, and Yuji Nagata defeating Togi Makabe, Yota Tsuji, and Uemura. We had Tenzan, Wato, and Deguchi defeating Okada, Sho, and Yo. Tana Hoshi and Yano defeating Owens and Gato. The Chaos team of Goto, Eagles, Ishii, and Yoshihashi defeating the Suzuki team of Doki, Suzuki, Taichi, and Zack Sabre Jr. And the main event was a 8-man tag elimination match. LIJ defeated the Bull Club team of Evil, ELP, Taiji, and Yujiro Takahashi. We have a question here from Donovan 101. It's time for songs that remind you of Evil. This week's artist is Marshall Bruce Matters III, a.k.a. one of the most overrated rappers of all time, Eminem.
So we need to figure out what Eminem song reminds us of Evil.
Yes.
Man, I wish, if there's going to be a really weird song like this, I wish you would, reach out to me and let me know so I could, have something ready so I could work the audience and make them think that, A, I'm, a hip-hop head, and B, that I'm witty. But I'll start off with the 2005 hit from Eminem. It's called Fack. F-A-C-K, Fack.
Purpose of how does that fit in with Evil?
That's what I scream every time he's on the screen, every time he does anything. Pretty much, that's how it relates to it.
I'm gonna go. Let's see here.
I got another one. The Way I Am. That's what Evil says when I ask, bro, why do you suck so hard? And he says, that's just the way I am.
I'm going to go with the song Venom because he is the poison in NJPW. He's the venom that we cannot get rid of.
I'm also going to go with Ass Like That. Because, I might not like the guy, but I've been told he is quite thick for a man. So Ass Like That by Eminem. Also Guilty Conscience. Because that man needs to have a guilty conscience for the evil that he has imposed upon us over these past couple years.
And I'm going to go with Spacebound because I want to shoot him into space and never see him wrestle again.
I'm also going to go with the song Bitch Please. Every time I... How about this one, When I'm Gone? Because I cannot wait for him to fucking leave.
Oh, man. But speaking of Evil, one thing we've got to talk about last week, Evil did do a homophobic slur in one of his promos to Shingo Takagi.
Yeah, we weren't skirting around it. We just forgot. So, yeah, very controversial. New Japan scrubbed any reference or record of that from the replay almost immediately. So, to be honest, I forget what the word was. I looked it up to kind of get a better understanding of the culture and, what the slur meant, and basically it was like a derogatory term for like homosexuals, kind of related to like drag.
Somebody like a man
culture.
Dress up like a woman.
Yeah, but basically what he had, I guess the rough translation of what he said is when he was challenging Shingo, he asked him like, come on, are you a man or are you, like gay or, effeminate or whatever that word is. And so it wasn't received well. And people were pissed.
Yeah. Another reason why he just needs to go away. So we look at the July 31st show. We had Great Bash Heel, Makabe, and Hanma defeating Tsuji and Nagata. Had a Bullet Club team of Chase Owens, ELP, and Taiji defeating Tanahashi, Yano, and Yamura. Then we had the Chaos team of Okada and Eagles, and they teamed with Tiger Mask to defeat Tenzan, Wato, and Taguchi. Semi-main event, we had the LIJ team defeat the Bullet Club team of Dick Togo, Evil, Gato, and Yujiro Takahashi. Post-match, Evil did hit Shingo with the belt and broke it. And we had a question from Dom Hui 101. Any thoughts on Evil breaking the new IWGP World Heavyweight Championship?
That's unfortunate that someone would break that beautiful new shining belt. I think maybe they got another, it's older and it's not as shiny, but they got another title just in case, in the back, that V4 belt. Maybe that could come back and just be a placeholder for a couple years or so. I don't know.
Dude, that would be like Evil's best contribution to New Japan, breaking the world title so we can get the version 4 back.
Oh, man.
Then the main event, 10-man tag elimination match. We had Suzuki Gun, Despy, Minoru Suzuki, Taichi, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Zack Sabre Jr. defeating the Chaos team of Goto, Sho, Ishii, Yo, and Yoshihashi. Post-match, El Desperado is eviscerated Sho and Yo on the mic. We had a question here from Hawaiian Punch BB after El Desperado eviscerated Roppongi 3K in its promo. Do you see Roppongi 3K splitting up? How would you book it, or does it mean that they will win the Super Junior Tag League again?
So I saw this, but I didn't watch it with the translation. Did you watch the translated promo and see what he said?
I did. Yeah, he pretty much bared these guys. Talked about how Yo's come back and he's been losing, and they keep winning these tag leagues, but they really haven't done anything as tag champs, and it's time for them to be apart, and pretty much how Yo is a weak link and he's kind of holding Sho down. He pretty much just buried Roppongi 3K and how stale they are, and they haven't really done anything since Yo's come back.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, I personally wouldn't have them win another record World Tag League or Junior Tag League in a row if it was me. But who knows? I'm curious to see how it plays out. I don't really have a strong prediction personally.
Yeah, I mean, Roppongi 3K, that they have to be the favorites, I think, just because of the teams in that tag league, and we'll talk about that tag league in a second here. But again, I wouldn't have them win either, but there might not really be any other option, and so this could just be a kind of a Yo story here, and maybe as we look in the Super Junior Tag League, maybe Yo's the one that eats the pinfalls in the beginning, and he's the one that has to make the comeback at the end to help them win the tournament, something like that. Who knows?
Now, before we move on, we're going to cover this Sunday show. I know you've got some great things to say about Jeremy. I got to tell you the truth. I didn't see this show. I got all the way through Saturday, August 7th, and I did not find time with my crazy schedule to watch the August 8th show. It is literally
August 1st.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, the August 1st show from Sunday. It is something that I'm going to be doing tomorrow in the morning while I'm working. So I'm going to kind of defer to you on some of that. But a few thoughts that I had, because I don't want to have watched all this other fluff for no reason. I did think that, the Yamura and Tsuji matches on the undercards leading up to their final matches have been pretty interesting. On the surface, they look like your standard dad Hantai affairs with the juniors. But they kind of went out there extra motivated and told kind of unique stories, because it's going to be the very last time before they go on excursion that they're in the ring with all these dads and trainers that they've kind of shared the ring with. And so it's kind of almost emotional to a certain extent.
Yeah.
One thing I really liked on the Friday, July 30th show, when the match started, Makabe had Tsuji and Yamura just fucking bum rush the other team, and they Kojima got speared out of his boots by Suji.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. Right off the rip, yeah.
There are so many reasons not to skip breakfast. So many savory, mouth-watering, tasty, delicious beyond all belief reasons. Actually, that last one was pretty convincing. Stop by for a McDonald's breakfast. Mix and match a sausage biscuit, sausage McMuffin, sausage burrito, or hash browns, any two for just $2. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with combo meal.
Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at express.com and in stores.
Aside from that, they've been doing a lot of different junior tag matches. Like, obviously, a lot of these 6 and 8 man tags have had different combinations of the junior tag teams that are going to be involved in this Junior Tag League, so that's kind of been building. And then the other big feud that's kind of been building is the three-way IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team title match that's coming up. And that kind of plays into the main event of the Sunday show. But we got a lot of really interesting tag team combinations between Chaos and Suzuki Gun and the Techers, as well as LIJ. And then finally, there was one and along with that, and I'm sure you're going to get into that, but like the interactions between Suzuki and Ishii, as always, have just been fire.
Incredible. Each night, because they were faced off in multiple matches, that 30th and 31st, and then also that built to the 6-man match. Yeah, it was awesome.
One of these 10-man tag elimination matches, they ended up where Ishii and Suzuki were on the outside, and Suzuki just kept smashing with the chair until they both got counted out for the 20 count, and he cared less about winning the match and cared more about inflicting damage on Ishii heading into that title match. So that was pretty cool. Another thing too, the interactions between Robbie Eagles and El Phantasmo have just fucking ruled.
Yes.
And I cannot wait for the day that we get a junior tag team or a junior IWGP junior heavyweight title match between those two guys, because I feel like that maybe is next.
If you
I can be wrong.
If you can get past Hiromu,
possibly, but it almost feels like they're like kind of teasing it right now,
Yeah.
So like I don't know. That is kind of influencing my feelings about whether he's going to get past Hiromu. And then the last thing is they kind of told a little bit of a short running story here, where each night when the LIJ teams were facing off, Bushi was picking up all the wins. And I didn't even get a chance to really point this out, but I've been thinking it for a few weeks now. Bushi without the mouth cut out, with just the full face mask, a lot more appealing. For some reason, I like Desperado a lot more when he has his mouth cut out and like the paint, but like because he's with the paint, you know what I'm saying? But Bushi, I think Bushi needs to just keep the whole shit covered. And I'm wondering if that's like COVID related, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like he's done a couple different mask designs in the last year or so. So I don't know if it's because of a COVID thing or he's just trying something different. I don't know.
He's been doing it for like a couple months now.
Yeah.
But that's going to lead us into Sunday, August 1st. A lot of good stuff here. I can't wait to check out this show. But, Jeremy, take us through it. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so show opened up. We had Uemura's farewell match opening the show, and he faced off against Kazuchika Okada, lost in 12 minutes and 19 seconds. Really good match here. Uemura was ready to run it right from the bell. Okada was very cautious. Match started off kind of slow, typical Okada fashion. A lot of really good chain wrestling here. At one point, Uemura pulling guard, trying to get Okada in his guard. It's a lot of really solid wrestling here. Yamura looking for Kimura at one point in the match, hitting some brutal drop kicks. Really, just kind of matching Okada drop kick for drop kick here. Then it got to the point where Okada was kind of challenging him strike wise, and he tried to knock out Okada, but couldn't do it.
Bro, you don't drop kick with a drop kicker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He hit his beautiful, overhead belly to belly on Okada for good near fall there. Then Okada stops him with 2 mini rainmakers, gets the money clip. Yamura taps out immediately. Post match, Okada helps him up and hits him a big drop kick as his send off present.
Okada hit him with another drop kick
after the match. Yeah.
Wow. I think that really is saying something, that his final match in the company was against Okada. I feel like, was Wato's last match in the company against Tanahashi?
I don't remember.
I'll look that up while you're kind of covering this, but I don't know. I think about like Okada's last match in the company before he left was against Tanahashi. So that might be kind of foreshadowing like how they see him and his potential for down the line when he might be able to come back, Yeah.
Yeah, they might see this man as a future ace.
Very possibly.
But the next match, we had Yota Tsuji's farewell match, and he finally gets his match here with Tetsuya Naito.
And the big W.
No, unfortunately, Tsuji was not able to get the win here over Naito. But I thought Tsuji looked great in this match. Similar to that match where he kind of rushed in on Kojima, he rushed in on Naito here with a big shoulder block. And they had this awesome lucha sequence after that. And Tsuji hit this big Tejeras on Naito. A lot of kind of lucha-based offense here, the overhand chop strike exchanges. And Tsuji was just rocking Naito at certain points in this match. But Naito would get back in and kind of get back control. But Tsuji would come back with some scoop slams, hit the surrounding senton, the Mount Tsuji. Another great strike exchange. Locks in the Boston Crab, but Naito was able to escape. Another kind of great closing stretch here, but Naito hits him with an NZ, gets him in a lion tamer version of the Boston Crab, and Tsuji taps out to Naito.
Yeah, I took a look, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I don't know where I thought Kawato ever wrestled Tanahashi as a singles, because like his last singles matches were in that Young Lions Cup from 2017, and then he left the company in early 2018 after the Fantasticamania. We were covering it back then, so I don't know why I thought his last singles match against a graduated single star in New Japan was against Kushida in late 2017. So I don't know. Yeah, not the same thing at all.
We had some questions here on the Young Lions farewell. First from Redizer Templar 235. What do you think are the most likely excursion destinations for Suji and Yamura? Suji just really wants to lucha at Mexico, but how realistic is that in the current pandemic situation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they end up. We've kind of gotten this question a lot, and I think we've speculated a lot. The funny thing is, like, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day while I was driving, and do you remember back in the day we used to get this question about other Young Lions, and I'd always say that I kind of thought, like, if they could mend the fence, that Impact might be a really good place for people to go.
Yeah.
like years ago, and I was like, but that will never happen. That could happen, and that might not be like the worst case scenario for someone to like go to the US and, do shots working Impact. I know it's not the same, company, and they don't do a lot of live touring, but that's a possibility.
Right. I mean, the US in general, I think, is a great spot because they can work Impact, they can work, Dark, Elevation, Dynamite, Rampage, they can work Strong, they can work
Independent
Indies,
scene.
They can work
Yeah.
PWG. PWG's back in action. They could do that.
One thing I've wondered about too, let's say you do go to the LA dojo, what's keeping them from potentially crossing that border, which is right there? It is LA after all, and going and doing some shots in Mexico, and basing out of Los Angeles, that is a possibility, I think.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think the only thing that would stop them right now are the COVID restrictions and.
Yeah, I don't know all the rules. I know you don't really need like a passport to get into Mexico, but to get into the US you kind of do, but maybe they could work that out. I don't know.
Yeah. Next question from EMJSPR. What will you remember most about Tsuji and Yamura's time as Young Lions?
Man, that is a tough question. I think Yamura just wanting a death wish against Suzuki, probably most likely. And then for Tsuji, the thing that I'll always remember the most is his undying devotion to Tana Hoshi.
Yes, that man loves him some Ace. You can always count on Tsuji to get the crowd going for Tanahashi. And of course, I'll always remember just their series of matches, the amount of draws that they used to have, and just how much they've improved over time that we've seen them. I mean, they've been Young Lions for a few years now, and so you're seeing them grow and starting off with all of those multiple draws they used to have, and then to the point where they're at now.
Yes.
Next question from Muzza. Where would you two personally prefer Tsuji and Yamura go on excursion if you had to make the decision?
I mean, pretty much what we've said in the past. I think I'd prefer, Yamura to go to the UK and Tsuji to go to Mexico, but I don't know how realistic or beneficial those options would be today. right now, I kind of feel like maybe sending both of them to the U.S. might be the best decision.
Yeah, I think the U.S. might be the safest, maybe easiest bet right now. And then, once things clear up, yeah, you can maybe send one to the U.K., send one to Mexico. Hey, go ahead.
You could send Tsuji to Jersey and have him work GCW, become a ghoul wrestler, Get some cheese graters, some fluorescent light tubes, barbed wire, come back, introduce a whole new style of wrestling. Bro, he's got the body type and the constitution to do it. And then for Yamura, I'd probably have him work like All Japan and win the triple title, and then bring that triple title over to New Japan and never bring it back, and just say fuck you guys. like it's the ECW NWA title match deal from 1994.
We don't need this title.
Yeah.
I was also thinking like Australia and New Zealand could potentially be a destination. They've been doing a lot of work. They've done shows in Australia. They have the Fale Dojo out there in New Zealand.
That's not a bad decision at all.
Go out there and wrestle.
We've heard great things about PCW Ultra and MCW and everything like that. No, not PCW, MCW and some of the other companies down there. That's not a bad decision. What I was going to say is I would like for Uemura to like kind of promo and be like, in the tradition of Mitsuharu Misawa, Giant Baba, Kenta Kobashi, Vader, Stan Hansen, and they can all kiss my ass. and he takes the 3 belts and he throws them down and he's like, why would I want to be the champion of a dead, dying promotion?
Bro, you know how many people will be mad at that?
Bro, it'd be so... For the Steve Williamses.
Oh, man.
God, these belts are beautiful, Dad.
Then last question here from Dom Homie 101. Thoughts on the farewell matches of Suji and Yamura? What does the future hold for both of these guys when they return to Japan?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to predict, like, what's, the future when these guys come back. Because like we said before, like, I would have not predicted Oka being the great Okan. I would have not predicted Kawato being Master Wato. So you never know what gimmick they're going to have when they come back. But based off their last matches, they faced the Ace and the Dark Ace. I have a feeling that they're going to slot these guys or try to slot them pretty high when they come back.
The only thing I think you can try to do is, to the best of your ability, assess where you think they are now. Assess how long you think it would take for them to prep and come back, whatever timetable you think that is. And then try to extrapolate what you expect New Japan to look like at that time frame. What other stars are working in the company, where are they in the totem pole, what holes are even available for them to come in and ply their trade. There's just so many variables. It's always hard to kind of guesstimate. One thing I have found to be helpful, though, is not always, but oftentimes how they're portrayed and received on their excursion, what kind of protections they're given, what kind of opportunities they're afforded, and how much they progress usually are key indicators as to what might be, their usage when they do return. Kind of look at like Hiromu's excursion and contrast his in Mexico and contrast that with Wato's. I think you've got 2 key indicators where they both ended up day one when they came back to the company. They're starkly different.
Yeah, good point. So finishing up the rest of this card here, so we had the Bullet Club team of Chase Owens, ELP, and Taiji Yoshimori defeating the Chaos team of Sho, Yo, and Toru Yano. Like I've been mentioning, they've been doing that post-match stuff of getting Yano to say "I quit" on the microphone. Then semi-main event here, we had the LIJ team of Bushi Sanada and Shingo defeating the Bullet Club team of Dick Togo, Evil, and Yujiro Takahashi. Then our main event, we had the never open weight 6-man tag team titles. The Chaos team of Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi successfully defend against the Suzuki Gun team of Minoru Suzuki, Taichi, and Zack Sabre Jr. And there's a little bit of a little mini story here with we mentioned Ishii and Suzuki kind of going at it, and Ishii said that if Suzuki Gun couldn't win, that it should become Taichi Gun. So some interesting comments there from Ishii, but this match was freaking awesome. I went 4 1/4 on this. Like, all 6 of these guys just have great chemistry, especially, Ishii and Suzuki were in there killing it. Tekkers and Goto and Yoshihashi have good chemistry. Like, it was just an awesome matchup. And yeah, it went 35 minutes, but with 6 guys and the pace they worked and the spots they did, it was just an awesome, hard-hitting match. There's a ton of great near falls towards the end there. Goto ends up getting the win on Suzuki. They did the GYW combo, him and Yoshihashi. They pinned Suzuki to get the win here.
Yeah, I got to check this out. I'm hearing really great things. You look at that team that they went into the match with, Suzuki, Taichi, and Zack Sabre Jr., and it's like they could have easily thrown Doki in that spot, and you sort of have the out. But once you have Suzuki there, it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of Doki, Yoshihashi, after the match, he was like, I felt like Doki could have given more effort than Suzuki. This man was, bold after they won the match. But yeah, just tons of greats. I mean, they hit all their great spots. Yoshihashi was doing his Western Lariat and his big moves. Taichi with the Kawada kicks and dangerous suplex. And Suzuki and Sabre doing some of their old double team moves from Rev Pro. And yeah, just so many great strikes and counters and maneuvers and near falls and double, triple team moves and guys coming in. Like, this was awesome. Like, this was just hard-hitting, awesome action. Like I said, 4 1/4. Early, front runner for match of the month. And, yeah, great stuff here from these guys.
Awesome.
We had a question here from Viking Pain. Says, do you guys think the Suzuki Gun Taichi Gun thing that Ishii proposed would lead to anything? Or was this just another case of wrestlers just saying things and that all this will just be swept under the rug?
I wouldn't call it swept under the rug. Could it be a breadcrumb? Sure. But like you just mentioned, there's lots of times where these guys have leeway and they say stuff. And I mean, until you see some sort of evidence that the internal members of Suzuki Gun are starting to have any inclination to think along those lines, there's no reason to think that that's happening.
Yeah, agree with you there. Then next question from Dom Homie 101. He says, who would be the trios that will eventually dethrone the trio of Ishii, Goto, and Yoshihashi as never openweight 6-man champions? I am going with the winner of the LOX versus Dipset battle that will be taking place tonight at the Madison Square Garden.
Who? Who the fuck is that?
I know. I've heard of Dipset. I don't know who LOX is.
Are you sure it's not lox? Like when you go to like a Jewish deli and you ask for some lox on your bagel? Because that's what it sounds like.
Bro, I have no idea.
Give me some schmear with some lox. Make sure there's capers on it. MJ Does PR asked on a scale of torture.
Before you get to that question, I forgot to mention we did post-match. Naito, Sonata, and Bushi came out to challenge the 6-man champ. So we are going to be getting a never 6-man match coming up with Sonata, Naito, and Bushi challenging the Chaos team.
So through the course of the Dangerous Tekkers having potential defenses against both Goto and Ishii in a rematch against former champions Sonata and Naito, somehow that turned into the 6-man tag team titles getting defended back-to-back by different trios.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing we forgot to answer his question. I mean, do you have a team that in mind that you think should beat this team for the belts?
I mean, if there was going to be any team, I mean, that Dangerous Tekker Suzuki team, I thought could have been a great unit to beat them. Outside.
We're at the point where it's like they've had it so long and defended it in so many classics. There is unrefutable proof that they're the greatest never champions of all time. So one has to kind of ask yourself, do you have another team get the rub by beating them, like an underdog team, you know? And, you know, does that kind of honor their legacy by going that route? Or do you say, we need to keep this momentum going and we do, like, you know, a fucking, you know, thugged out, you know, 6-man, like, monster trio, kind of like what we just saw here?
There is one unit I thought about, United Empire. You do Cobb, Okan, and Hanare.
That's a great call. I was thinking the Super Elite, but that's a great call. How mad would people be if, like, Kenny and the Bucks just came in and took that shit?
The belt collectors here, boys. We want the never six-man belts.
Kenny walks out with, like, 8 belts, even though the Bucks are also champions. They're like, we don't feel like holding them tonight. So Kenny's walking out like he's fucking Ultimo Dragon.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm excited. At this point, like, any defense they have can be their last at this point.
Right.
And that makes it exciting.
Yeah, these never 6-man titles have been highlights the whole year, no matter what show they're on. They've been having great matches. Great teams have been challenging. It's been great stuff.
Jeremy, they're the tag team of the year.
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
Like they're the I have a fear that when voting time comes, they're not going to get the votes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say this during the award show, so I gotta say my piece now. I feel like it'll be like that year when the Young Bucks won, but really it was
War Machine.
They were truly the tag team of the year, and they got fucking robbed. I feel like we could run into something like that again, where, like, Dangerous Techers win, because they're kind of in the more high-profile spot, and they have had classics. I mean, I wouldn't dispute that they're up there, but, like, dude, nobody's touching this Chaos tag team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting. MJ Des PR asked us, on a scale of torture rack to electric chair, how painful is it going to be to watch the Super Junior Tag League this year?
Man, yeah, Super Junior Tag League, it's not the best lineup here. And we'll talk about that here in a second here, but
what if you had to take a guess for yourself, in your opinion, what do you think is, like, the most painful, like, wrestling hold, you know? If you had to describe what this is like.
I don't know. I can kind of picture myself being in a torture rack and just, you know, Lex just having me up, just racking me as I'm watching. I'm like, no more, no more.
I don't want to break kayfabe, but I don't think that torture rack ever hurt anybody. Like, that shit don't look like it. That's like the lightest hold. I think, like, I'm gonna go with Stu Hart's sugar hold. Stretch it, man. Give me your man. So we got some shows coming up over the next couple, week or so. On Saturday, August 7th, we have Summer Struggle with Tenzan, Makabe, and Yano taking on the Bullet Club team of Chase, Jado, and Yujiro. Second match of the night, we have Goto, Ishii, and Yoshihashi teaming up to take with Hanma to take on the LIJ team of Bushi, Sanada, Shingo, and Naito. We have the kickoff for the Junior Tag League as Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask take on the Bullet Club team of Dick Togo and Gato. Fourth match of the night, continued Tag League match as Wato and Taguchi take on Suzuki Gun. And then the main event, Roppongi 3K takes on the Bullet Club team for the Super Junior Tag League 2021.
Then on August 8th, you going to say something?
I just remembered something. I did want to touch on this. So at the end of that show, when Roppongi 3K was getting ripped to shreds by El Desperado, I just thought to myself, oh God, Roppongi 3K versus Suzuki Gun is going to be a highlight of the fucking Super Junior Tag League for like the third or fourth year in a row. We can't get away from this fucking feud.
It's a feud that never ends. It goes on and on, my friend.
Dude, they're worse than Cena and, like, Orton.
Fight forever.
Please don't.
Oh, man. But we move on to the August 8th show on Sunday, 5:30 a.m. start time Eastern on New Japan World. Great Bash Heel and Yano taking on the Bullet Club team of Owens, Jado, and Yujiro. Chaos team of Goto, Ishii, and Yoshihashi will team with Satoshi Kojima to take on all of LIJ. Then we'll have some more Super Junior Tag League action. We'll have Despy and Kanemaru against Dick Togo and Gato. Eagles and Tiger Mask against Roppongi 3K. And then the main event will be Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi against the Bullet Club team of ELP and Taiji Ishimori.
Monday, August 9th, Summer Struggle continues. We got Tenzan, Hanma, and Yano taking on the Bullet Club team of Owens, Jado, and Ujiro. Second match, the Chaos team of Goto, Ishii, and Yoshihashi team with Makabe to take on the LIJ team of Bushi, Sanada, Shingo, and Naito. And then we continue with the Junior Tag League action as we get Dick Togo and Gato of the Bullet Club taking on El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori of the Bullet Club. Fourth match of the night, Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask team up to take on the Suzuki Gun team of Desperado and Kanemaru. And then the main event will be Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi taking on Roppongi 3K.
And then the last show before we record again will be August 10th as Summer Struggle continues, 5 a.m. Eastern Time on New Japan World. We have Master Wato, Taguchi, and Hanma taking on Despy, Suzuki, and Kanemaru. We're going to have Eagles and Yano teaming with Tiger Mask to take on Chase Owens, ELP, and Taiji Ishimori. Then Roppongi 3K, Shoin and Togi Makabe taking on the Bullet Club team of Dick Togo, Evil, and Gato. And then semi-main event, we have a special singles match. Yujiro Takahashi will take on Shingo Takagi. And then the main event will be for the Never Openweight 6-man tag team titles as Goto, Ishii, and Yoshihashi will defend against Bushi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito.
So before we continue, one thing I just want to say, I'm going to be sad to see Yamura and Tsuji go, bro. Dude, they've been literally, like, they debuted in the early goings of this podcast. We literally watched them from, like, their debut, and now we've seen them go. And, who knows how long it'll be before they come back, but, like, damn, man. Like, no young lions on the undercards of these shows.
Right. I know there is, I believe, Yuto. It's the one young lion that got hurt. I mean, he's been out there, and I feel like I've seen another new young lion that's been out there with him, so...
Yuto, man, he's injury prone, bro. Oh man. Last thing. So, go ahead.
Real quick, any predictions on who's winning the Super Junior Tag League?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, do you have any thoughts on this tag league? Any insights? Anything you want to add? I mean, I don't. Any thoughts on these teams? Any hot takes, Jeremy? Predictions.
I really don't have any hot takes. I mean, looking at it, I feel like there's a few teams that kind of stand out. Obviously, you have Despy and Kanemaru, you have Roppongi 3K, and then I think ELP and Taiji are probably your three favorites that could potentially win. With ELP and Taiji being the champs, they're probably not going to win. So it's probably going to come down to Suzuki Gun and Roppongi 3K.
Yeah. I mean, with there being no outside talents, no newcomers, no Hiromu Takahashi, and in 2021, the inclusion of a Dick Togo Gato tag team, I just don't know how jazzed up I could be for this. Plus, Sho and Yo are still, what are they, the 3 times back-to-back winners?
Yeah, what, 2017?
Or are they the 4-time back-to-back winners?
I think they won. I think it's 3. I think it's 2017, 18, and 19, I think.
And last year.
Well, last year wasn't technically a Super Junior Tag League. I don't think it was. I think it was just like a random, like...
Oh, a tournament.
Yeah, like that power struggle thing that they did.
That's right. Okay. I'm gonna verify, but I mean, dude, looking at that list, I mean, it's hard for me to like get jazzed up, Yeah. 17, 18, 19. Yep, you're correct.
Yeah, I mean, not the most exciting lineup, and I get it. You can't get a lot of juniors in for this tournament. They're using what they have, but man.
Okay, well, let's do it this way. Okay, if let me just go through the list real quick. If Roppongi 3K won again, would you be excited?
No.
If Wato and Taguchi won, would you be excited?
No.
If Despy and Kanemaru won, would you be excited?
No.
If Eagles and Tiger Mask won, would you be excited?
No.
If ELP and Ishimori won, would you be excited?
Might be interesting, but I don't know.
Also, keep in mind, they're the reigning champions.
Yeah, so.
And then finally you got, I'm right there with you. I feel that. I'm like, kind of like, maybe. But then I'm like, but then they're the champions. So what's next? You know? And then Dick Togo and Gato, like if they win, maybe I might, just as a fan of chaos, maybe I would like that, you know, just the sheer carnage of like, what the fuck does that mean if Togo and Gato win this shit? Like, yeah. But overall, like, what's a standout match you see here, Jeremy? Like, is there one match that you're like, oh shit, that's can't miss?
Not really. I mean, Roppongi 3K against ELP and Tsuji, whenever that happens, that'll probably be good.
I'll tell you, the only team I'm kind of semi-excited for is Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask, and only because we haven't seen Tiger Mask in a while, and he's kind of, you know, he goes on these old man runs in these tournaments and, like, decides to work hard.
Yeah.
But he's essentially Robbie's pin eater, so... But their matches might kind of be fun. Like, maybe the ELP and Ishimori against Eagles and Tiger Mask match might be something to look out for. But I mean, bro, there's not one. We don't even have mega coaches. Like, I thought maybe Rocky would be in this.
Yeah, I guess Rocky had to come back for, you know, run stuff for Resurgence.
Yeah, he had to work out the contract negotiations with Leo Rush before he wins the title. So those are my thoughts. There's not a single team I'm excited about. There's not a single match I'm excited about. And the only thing I'm thinking is like, okay, well, maybe we could set up some sort of title match down the line for Eagles, but like we already know he's getting Hiromu next. So is there even, you know, why are we doing this other than just to fill
You could have ELP pin Eagles, and then Eagles beats Hiromu, and then ELP is like, I pinned you, I'm next.
And you know what? That's pretty competent, and that's kind of what I was already thinking was probably going to happen. Yeah. You know, pin him through nefarious means, as they like to do. You know, a sudden death. Right. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I guess I'm going to pick... See, that's the hard part, though. ELP and Ishimori don't... They shouldn't win this, so... But I don't think Sho and Yo should go back to back to back to back to back. Like, I'm picking, I don't know, fuck it, Dick Togo and Gato. Like,
oh, man.
I don't know. I you know what? Maybe Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask go on a miracle run so that he can get a title shot against El Fantasma and Ishimori. So that whichever one beats him in that match can turn around and get a title shot. Because where have we heard that story from before?
That's been the story all year.
All year. So
I'm gonna go for Roppongi 3K.
You mean Roppongi 4K? Like, yes. Bro,
the greatest junior tag team of all time.
The greatest junior tag team with the shortest library of great matches in the history of professional wrestling. Damn. I think here's what I would call them. Roppongi 3K is the goodest junior tag team of all time. I mean, bar none, the fucking goodest. When you want to show someone a really fucking good junior tag team, you show them Roppongi 3K. But when you want to show them a great junior tag team, you do not fucking show them Roppongi 3K. What's the really great Roppongi 3K match that you could think of? The Bucks match? The Bucks matches? Yeah. That happened 3 years ago? That was just a footnote on the Bucks' literally hundreds of great matches. These guys got, I don't know, 4, 5, 6. Most of them are with fucking Desperado and Kanemaru. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But to me, Sho and Yo are bona fide singles guys that just happen to be a tag team.
Yeah. They're like Roppongi 3.5 stars right now.
They're the anti-Evil and Sonata. Evil and Sonata, bro. During this this little tour, I've been watching the undercards, and like Evil is perfectly fine as a tag guy. He hits all the right moments. You know, he's a good tag wrestler, but he's a bad singles wrestler. And Sonata's a good singles wrestler, but a great tag wrestler. You know?
Yeah.
And that's Show and Yo are good tag wrestlers, but they're great singles guys.
Yeah. One day they'll break up.
A lot of people are not ready to have that conversation.
But it's time to start a dialogue.
So we got some news here. Tokon Shop Global presents Hiroshi Tanahashi's online meet and greet on August 12th. What do I have to do?
Go on njpw1972.com. All the details there. I believe they do it.
Do I get to actually like interact with him personally?
Maybe. I have not done any of these meet and greets that they've done. They've done a few now, like with Kenta and a couple other guys, Liger. So yeah, you check it out. Let us know how the process works.
Any of you marks out there been joining these things, you let us know so I can join the ranks of marks, because I might want to attend if Tanahashi's there.
See, I met Tanahashi in the flesh in New Orleans.
Bro, Tanahashi fucking pointed at me, bro. Don't even start this.
Bro,
okay, I got a special bond with Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I was right there next to the ace.
Okay, anyways. Mr. No Days Off, Fred Rosser, the suntan Superman, was interviewed. Why are you laughing?
Dude, I don't know.
You're laughing because you didn't put suntan Superman in the copy, but I added, because that's his nickname, bro.
Yeah, I know you're a big Fred Rosser fan.
You know what's fucked up about that? That man's not suntanned. That's his natural skin color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
nor is he a Superman or a super wrestler.
That's besides the point. Like, that'd be like, I don't know, being like, acting like if you weren't in the sun, you wouldn't be dark. Like, bro, it's fucked up. Like, embrace your identity. You're not suntan Superman. You're us. But yeah, check out that interview. I believe it's from he got interviewed it's on World, right?
It's on njpw1972.com. It's a written interview.
Oh, okay, gotcha. 20% off all LIJ goods on Tokon Shop Global, so check that out. And then the Monday free match of the week, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows versus Togi Makabe and Tomoaki Hanma in the finals of the World Tag League. I believe that's from 2016.
Yeah, I think that's the year. So yeah, once again, Good Brothers getting some more airtime this week, and so also they're building
that match is good though.
Yeah,
it's one of the few it's pretty good. That's gonna do it for the news. So we got some questions, recommend match of the week, and we're gonna close this shit out.
Yeah. So first question here from Muzza. He says he's been trying to watch more Misawa matches from Noah. What matches has he had from New Japan you say are worth watching?
Not a damn thing. When's the last time you heard us come out here and pimp a fucking Mitsuharu Misawa match in New Japan?
Not at all.
I don't know. I'll go to Cage Match and see. I will say this. There was a tag team match where him and Liger tag teamed together in New Japan, which was like kind of crazy, you know? He only had 2 New Japan matches, first off. And let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. There's only 2 recommended matches of his, and one of them is him as Tiger Mask in 1990. It appears his highest rated matches Goto and Nakamura against Misawa and Segura from the Tokyo Dome show on January 4th, 2009. I don't really remember that match, but that actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be a fun match.
Let me see how many matches he ever had in New Japan, because he didn't have very many, you know?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total. And one of them was that All Japan, New Japan, WWF Summit show. So that one doesn't even really count. So technically only 4. And the match that I was talking about, it's did this ever? Oh yeah, it did happen. Okay. Misawa and Fujinami in the Tokyo Dome. This is from May 14th, 2005 against Liger and Chono. I mean, that's as fire pro of a match as you could ever possibly get.
Yeah.
I don't think the match is great or anything, but I mean, just the idea of seeing Misawa and Fujinami team up to take on Liger and Chono, that's pretty awesome. May 2nd, 2002, he wrestled Chono to a 30-minute time limit draw in the Tokyo Dome. That's nothing to write home about. And then you got that Rise against Misawa and Segura from 2009. And those are the only 3 matches he ever had as Misawa in New Japan. So they're few and far between. If I was you, I'd maybe check out the one from 2009. It's probably on New Japan World.
Nice. Next set of questions here from Hawaiian Punch BV. First, it says, how excited are you that Evil versus The Fiend is now a possibility? All joking aside, while I don't want a character like Bray Wyatt / The Fiend would work in New Japan, I can see Wyndham Rotunda as a big, brawly Gaijin Hoss, once in a while attraction working, something like the Painmaker Chris Jericho. He has shown that if he is in there with the right people, he can have a good match.
If by the right people you mean Brian Danielson, yes, I agree with you.
Yes.
You know what, man? I'll tell you this much. I would not want to see Fiend in New Japan, but I don't think you're completely wrong. Is there some sort of timeline where he reinvents himself and comes to Japan and like wows us with his creativity and his work? Maybe, but I wouldn't bet on it. You know what I mean? So like, I have no anticipation for it. They'd have to show me before I ever got stoked for it in any way, shape, or form. I would definitely not advocate for it. And I saw a lot of people advocating for it because you know what I think it is? WWE fans loved him, right?
Right.
Just loved him. And most of those WWE fans hate AEW. So the obvious choice of where he should go next is probably AEW because it's the other big company. But they don't want him to go there and be successful. Oh, my God. Could you imagine if he goes to AEW and then succeeds?
It'd be a meltdown.
Yeah. So I think a lot of those people are, in turn, wanting him to go to New Japan because it's the other big company. And in their minds, they're like, well, you know, New Japan's not a threat. You know, if this was like 4 years ago, they would not want him to go to New Japan. But now that it's, you know, oh, New Japan's fine. They're cool. He can go there and, you know, he'll tear it up. Gato should give him a call. No, bro. Just no.
Yeah, I'm not trying to see Husky Harris, Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, Wyndham Rotunda. I don't care what gimmick he is. I'm not really trying to see this man jump in my New Japan.
Blackjack Wyatt.
IRS Jr.
Yeah, IRS. El Hijo de IRS.
Oh, man. His next question, non-NJPW pure question. Dragon Gate legend Masato Yoshino has retired. What are your favorite matches of his? Why does Bushiroad allow Shingo Takagi and Milano Collection AT to send their tributes in video form, but not allow wrestlers to send tribute videos for the Hana Kimura Memorial Show?
You know, Yoshino is a legend, but I'm just not as up on Dragon Gate as I am other promotions, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure there's a Yoshino match that I love with him and Shingo, but I'm not as familiar with him as everybody else is.
Yeah, same here. I've never really gotten into Dragon Gate, even though anytime I see it or watch it, it's awesome. I just haven't had time to follow it, and so I know Yoshino. Yeah, he's a legend. I've seen clips and highlights, and I know he's done a ton of stuff, but I can't, say a good faith like a match that I would recommend. Obviously, cage match would probably be the best spot to go.
Obviously, there's the ROH 6-man tag from March 31st. That's like the really, really, really famous one that everyone here knows.
Is that the one with like Dragon Kids in that match also?
Yeah.
Okay, I have seen that match.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking at his cage match. I mean, there's a lot here. There's a lot, and it's all very highly rated stuff. But yeah, I'm not as familiar with Yoshino or a lot of the Dragon Gate guys, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I like Mochizuki.
As far as the question about like video tributes, I have no idea why they would let Shingo and Collection AT do stuff for this show and not for the Stardom show.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's like a Bushiroad decision or a New Japan versus Stardom decision or TV Asahi versus whatever, TV station Stardom's on. So I'm not sure where that directive comes from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm not opposed to being like it is Bushiroad. I just don't know that that's the case, though.
Right. Next comment says AJ McKee. That is all.
Did AJ McKee do something cool?
I guess so. Maybe he won a fight. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like he fucked someone up at Bellator. He knocked out Pitbull. Oh shit. I knew Pitbull had a big match coming up, but I haven't been keeping up with Bellator like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the only Bellator I keep up with is when Jake Hager's on.
The only ones I keep up with are the ones where either Fedor's fighting, Kimbo Slice, or Ken Shamrock.
His last question here: thoughts on Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane? Another masterclass from Gane, or another comeback KO from Lewis?
Oh wow! It looks like he guillotine choked Patricio in the very first round, and that won him the World Grand Prix as well as the world title. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I didn't watch that tournament. I feel bad for Derek Lewis because I wanted Derek Lewis to get that cash out fight against Ngannou, and it's probably not going to happen against Gane, honestly. So yeah, Gane probably beats him, but with Derek Lewis, I mean, he's always got a puncher's chance, so it's hard to say.
Yeah,
I would put my money on Gane probably.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, you never know. Lewis, he always kind of has like a lot of times you think he's going to lose, and he just kind of hits a wild right and ends up winning. So we'll see what happens. Next question from Viking Pain says, with the Delta variant running wild all over the country, especially in major unvaccinated places like the South, and the mask mandates possibly being brought back even if you're vaccinated by the CDC, do you guys think sporting events would be forced to shut down again, or is it too late to put that genie back in the bottle? Also, stay safe because I hear Florida is an absolute mess right now.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. It's definitely a problem, but I will say this. This isn't to say that there aren't, and I'm not like a pro or anti-vax guy. I'm not left or right. I don't really give a fuck about any of that stuff, really. But I will say this. There are cases, and it's proven now, where vaccinated people have contracted the Delta variant and have either been asymptomatic and, passed it, or have gotten sick, and some people have even ended up in the hospital. So it's not like that's not a possibility. But looking at the most recent numbers, it is, from what they've reported, it's like about 0.08% chance you're going to get seriously sick from the Delta variant if you are vaccinated. So it doesn't mean you have full immunity or full protection, but it does mean that your chances of survival and, your chances of going unfazed are a lot higher. The majority of people in the South specifically who are suffering the most dire consequences from this are those who are unvaccinated, Yeah. And I'm not here to, to say, oh, everyone needs to be vaccinated. There are some people who are immunocompromised who can't take it, can't get vaccinated. There are special circumstances. So, it's not a universal across the board thing where everybody should be vaccinated, but the majority of people probably should be. That would probably be good for their health and well-being. And most of the people that are getting fucked up by this thing are those who aren't vaccinated. You know, the crazy thing, though, is if you look at the numbers, there's definitely a lot of people dying. But it seems that this Delta variant is less deadly than the original COVID SARS-2 that came here. This one seems to be a lot more contractable and more highly contagious, but the death rate has gone down significantly. I don't know if that could also be maybe we know how to treat it better now.
Right.
I don't know. But I do think that it could be something where if this continues unchecked, where stuff could definitely get shut down.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I think some states are already kind of tightening some things up and bringing mask mandates and requiring vaccinations to go indoors. So,
I mean, bro, I'm telling you right now, like, I would definitely wear a mask again because I'm not like an asshole. Like, I don't care. You know, if it's like I need to protect other people or whatever to wear a mask, fine. But like, I'm not gonna lock down here.
Yeah.
Because there's no evidence that the lockdowns ever fucking worked anywhere in the country. You know.
Right.
I mean, I definitely think a lockdown works in theory if literally every aspect of the country shuts down. We saw that in plenty of places, like Australia, for instance, and stuff like that. But like, look at them now. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not one of those people who are like, they're taking our liberties, but bro, that shit that's going on in Canada and that shit that's going on in Australia is fucked up.
Yeah,
dude, I'm not staying in my house. Like, I'll go outside, get some sun, wear my mask. I'm vaccinated. I'll protect y'all. That's cool, but like, I'm not gonna stop working and like, fuck that, bro. Especially since it didn't work. You know?
That's the big thing. Like, if it had worked, then fine, but it's proven not to work.
Yeah, and they don't have like good parameters for like what should or shouldn't get shut down. You know, there were so many loopholes. Like, all these small businesses got shut down, but all these big businesses got to stay open and operate and get benefited, and they got all these buyouts and shit. And then we got like $1,400, and they got literally billions of dollars. It's kind of fucked up. I don't know. Anyways, Dom Homie 101 asked, thoughts on the rumors of Gervonta Tank Davis moving up to the welterweight division to face Keith one time. I had a ponytail Thurman, a.k.a. Keith Beecher, a.k.a. Keith DeBarge. Listen, Dom Homie 101, I respect your opinions, but Keith Thurman disrespect will not be tolerated, okay? That's a Clearwater boy, okay? He's from the Wick, okay? What you know about Wick City, dog? Like, that man beat Manny Pacquiao on points. He got robbed. I don't think Gervonta should do that. I think he's too small, but what do I know? I said the same thing about Canelo, and he's gone up and sunned so many people way bigger than him, so who knows? Plus, Keith is on the downside of his run anyways, so it might not be a bad time to catch him. I don't know. That's my thoughts. You're not saying anything.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on that.
He said with the C-19 making a big-time return with the help from the little bro in Delta, is it a good idea for Manny Pacquiao to be doing public workouts with tons of people knowing he got a mega fight with Errol Spence Jr.? Probably not. What he's saying is, like, should he be exposing himself to COVID with the big money fight on the line?
Yeah, I mean, you probably should put his safety first and try and do the fight later, but...
Last question of the week. Caleb M. Baldwin of the Wrestling Squared Circle Facebook group page asked us, how big is Batista's dick? And
didn't Caleb used to answer this question like 3 years ago?
I don't know. I'm about to like lift the embargo on all of our chats.
You boot that
where
man.
We just boot this man.
Speaking of Caleb, if you guys are fans of Lucha Underground, you can check out his podcast here on the network, Grave Consequences, with him and Greg. They are reviewing all episodes of Lucha Underground. I believe they're on season 2 right now, so you can check that out.
So the recommended match of the week, last week I recommended Kawada and Fuchi versus Nagata and Isuka. Now, I noticed in the copy you wrote Kawad Dad. Why? Because that man's old?
Balls on top. Yeah, I botched there. But yeah, dude, I love this match, man.
Oh, finally.
Finally, dude, I'm not like what one of your recommendations.
Yeah, you literally only actively disliked one, but it feels like that hurt. Bro. That hurt.
But yeah, dude, the crowd was lit for this match, dude. The Gata and Kawada interactions were just incredible in this match. The Kawada kicks, the back suplex. Also, you're seeing kind of where like Taichi gets a lot of his influence from, the stretch plum, and yeah, all the stars of this match were Nagata and Kawada and the interactions they had. Dude, what the heck happened to Iizuka? This man was good looking. This man was on fire. He was killing in this match and stuff he was doing. Like, what happened to this man? Like, where'd it go wrong?
Iizuka was raw, bro.
Yes. What happened?
And some backstory here. This match is kind of taking place right at the same time as the Noah All Japan split. And literally when that took place, the only two All Japan domestic wrestlers that stayed with the company were Fuji and Kawada. And, Fuji was like the long-time junior ace of the company, and Kawada was sort of like the number 2 guy behind Mizawa. And so they had a long history with All Japan, and when that company was like, right on the brink of going under, they cut this deal to do cross promotion with New Japan, in the wake of Baba's death. And, we kind of got this match with Kawada and Fuji coming in as like the invaders, but like the established at this point, the de facto 2 biggest stars in All Japan, unless you want to count like Tenryu coming over from War. And then Nagata and Iizuka had literally just won the Grade 1 tag team climax, their version of New Japan's then version of World Tag League. So they're kind of already like established as like the top or one of the top tag teams in New Japan. And this is pre-Nagata IWGP champion, neither him or...
It was hard to tell because the crowd loved Nagata in this match.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, in a sense, it's a dream match. You've got like one of the top established tag teams in New Japan going up against 2 of the top single stars in All Japan. And, Nagata and Iizuka are not as big stars domestically as Kawada and Fuji, but they're the hometown guys, and they need to defend the honor of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And, like, one guy that I loved in this match was fucking Fuji, bro. He's like, in this match, he's like Japanese Ric Flair. Just like the dirtiest player. He takes every cheap shot. Like, all the little things that he's doing. He's just the smarmiest, like, fucking heel.
Yeah.
And then as the match goes on, one thing I noticed that I loved was the way Kawada and Fuji got double heat on Nagata and Iizuka. They, like, had one guy inside, and they're getting the heat on him so that he can't get the tag. But then at the same time, they've got the other New Japan guy out on the outside, and they're beating him down periodically, so he can't even get up to get the tag either. So they got double heat going, and the crowd is like fucking on fire for both of them.
Yeah,
like that's totally an All Japan like trope.
But yeah, this match was awesome. The action was great. Again, I just really loved Kawada and Nagata, their strike exchanges, and I love the spot where like Nagata has the Nagata lock on, and Fuji's like trying to break it up, and he couldn't get like Nagata off.
Nagata wouldn't let go of it, and he kept hitting him, and like Nagata wouldn't let go of it. One thing I love too is the selling. There was times where these guys were like bumbling, but it looked like for real bumbling, and I was like, oh man, the drama of this match it's so good. Like, I do think there is an argument that this might be at least probably a top 5 New Japan tag match of all time, but it might be in the conversation for best New Japan tag match.
Yeah, and they go to a 30-minute draw.
And bro, that was the one thing I was worried you weren't going to like it because it went to a draw, because like how often is a 30-minute draw sounding that appealing, the way we're talking about it. But like, this is one of the few times where like a 30-minute draw like felt fitting,
Right. Yeah, like you mentioned, it was a dream match. You had like 2 mega teams going at it, and they just couldn't, beat the other one. And that leaves the door open. I don't know if they had more matches, but that leaves the door open to a potential second matchup.
Yeah. So, awesome match. With my modern eyes, I would probably go, now I'm talking about, like, I don't know. I talked myself down watching it from like a 5 to like a 4.5, but now I'm like, I don't know, maybe 4 3/4.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between 4.5, 4 3/4.
It's really, really good. If you've never seen it, do yourself a favor. It's on Daily Motion. Check it out. But I think you've got a recommendation for me.
I do. So this week's recommended match of the week, it's Tanahashi themed. So Tanahashi, he's coming to the U.S. to face Archer at Resurgence. My recommended match is a match from 2011 when the Ace came to the U.S. He came to the East Coast to face the American Wolf, Davey Richards, at the NJPW Invasion Tour 2011 Attack on East Coast. This match is on NJPW World. This is the same set of shows where we crown the first IC champ. So semi-main event on this show, Tanahashi versus the American Wolf. There's no, records of it. I mean, it's on Cage Match, but there's no ratings. I don't see many reviews of this match, and I thought this match was awesome.
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it last night. Yeah, I thought the match was dope.
I know this match happened. It's kind of funny. It's like one of the most beloved wrestlers of all time wrestling one of the most absolutely hated wrestlers of all time. And, Davey Richards is like back on the free market.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's doing MLW. He's doing a bunch of indie stuff right now.
Yeah, so first and only time meeting between these two. On paper, that sounds awesome. I don't know how good it is. There's one Cage Match review. It's an 8. It's just a flat 8, and he's the only guy that ever reviewed it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's a really, really great recommendation. And you know what? Like, this is one of those rare instances. I've never seen this match. I've never seen anything from that Invasion tour at all. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything from that tour. I think this is the only match I've seen from that tour.
Yeah, I'm taking a look. I think I might have watched the Omega Liger match, but I don't remember. So, for the Jersey All-Pro World title. So, yeah, man, before we go, I've been doing this new life hack where, like, normally when I work, I listen to podcasts, but lately, like, I've been, like, just putting on New Japan, Yeah. It's making things a lot easier for me to kind of divulge my time between like my work, my life schedule, and the show and everything like that too. So
might have to get on that.
I just want to throw that out there. New setup, new me.
Well, yeah, that might be definitely helpful as we get rolling the G1 season.
Yeah, well, we started the show at 7:30. It's just past 9:30. We got a quick, easy 2-hour show. It covered like 6 shows, some shit like that. Like, it's kind of crazy. And next week we got a really big episode coming.
Yeah, next week we'll be back to preview Resurgence, which will be live at next weekend in California, LA.
So let's talk about this real quick before we go. So next week, Tuesday's the preview, and then we're flying out Friday.
Yep, and then shows on Saturday.
Wow. And then we get back, we travel all day Sunday, get back, and then just in time to review.
Yeah, we'll be back on Sunday and come back to review on Tuesday.
Nice, man. Well, I am looking forward to it, and looking forward to all the questions, responses you guys have regarding all that as well.
Yeah, should be a fun show. Really excited to go to this show and hang out with fans and just enjoy this New Japan experience.
Hopefully next week we have a full card announced so we can actually review the shit.
Yeah, we can preview what we have, but I'm sure they'll hopefully fit out the card. Rocky did tease an awesome match announcement coming this week, so we'll see.
Bro, I mean, dude, Tanahashi and Archer in a U.S. title match. Jay White versus fucking Finley, which the first match they had at New Japan Cup this past year was awesome. And so that's a double. And then once they announce the strong title, which is probably Lawler and Leo Rush, that they're probably going to call it a triple main event.
Right. Yeah.
That'll probably be the way they bill it special. Triple main event. Plus the Good Brothers, plus Mox, plus Juice, plus
Dirty Daddy,
Chris
Brody
Dickinson, Brody King, many others. Like, that's a pretty awesome card.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty dope.
Like, you know, if you have New Japan World, it's probably worth it. Watch that New Japan World. But I'm almost thinking, like, if it was me, I might even just, like, get the Fight TV. I don't know. To hear that English, hear Kevin Kelly on the call.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly, Aiden English, and what's his name? Why do I always blank on his name?
Alex Kozlov.
Yeah, Alex Kozlov, yeah.
Maybe get World.
And who knows, man, you know, we'll have, Chris Sansa will be out there. Karen will be out there. Who knows, we might even do some special audio maybe before or after the show while we're out there.
We need to get a secret elect group of the New Japan intelligentsia and make arrangements, pre-game drinks, pre-game show, you know, get together. I don't know, something.
Yeah.
We only got 2 days out there, so got to make it worth it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get fucking mugged in Koreatown.
We got to wear our Suzuki shirts.
Yeah, let them know. I'm not trying to size anybody out there. Let anyone know. I'm trying to blend.
Oh man. Well, that's going to wrap it up. So, like I said, next week we'll be back to preview Resurgence. If you enjoyed today's show, please consider making a one-time or monthly donation by visiting socialsuplex.com/donate and click on the donate button under the Keeping It Strong Style logo. Make sure you connect with us on social media. On Twitter, the show is at KI Strong Style. I'm at Jeremy L. Donovan. The network is at Social Suplex. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Social Suplex. In the Wrestling Squared Circle group, we're facebook.com/group/Wrestling Squared Circle. On Instagram, we're at Social Suplex. On Reddit, I'm the Pro Black Guy. Just Keeping It Strong Style. You can email me, Jeremy at socialsuplex.com. Check out all the other shows that we have here on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We have One Nation Radio, hosted by Rich Latta and James Boyd. The Grave Consequences Podcast with Caleb and Maserati. 8-Bit Suplex with Josh, number 2. All Things Elite with Austin and Floyd. And Great Match Generator with Danny. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating and review. And we'll catch you next week on Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts.
Ichiban.
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.
There are so many reasons not to skip breakfast. So many savory, mouth-watering, tasty, delicious beyond all belief reasons. Actually, that last one was pretty convincing. Stop by for a McDonald's breakfast. Mix and match a sausage biscuit, sausage McMuffin, sausage burrito, or hash browns, any two for just $2. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with combo meal.
Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at express.com and in stores.